Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to be talking about my philosophy, how I see the world, and the kind of work I want to push until I am no longer here. The imaginary based religion. The first concept I want to talk about is God. God is an imaginary creation. It's a man-made thing composed of thoughts and ideas. So for example, a lot of work in fiction has characters, they have a story, and their purpose is to help inspire and to create ideas. That is basically what an imaginary thing is, which is essentially what I think is also God. And it's a hologram in space. Also, it's a female resemblance with neoteny features. For example, on the right, the image is Hitsune Miku, which is a Vocaloid, but not necessarily this character. She's just an example, and it's projected to a wide location in space to establish community and know God, understand God as a non-physical thing. The importance and qualities of an imaginary female companion. Number one, you have someone that's always watching over you, and also someone to protect, reasons to grow stronger. So it's important that it's a female in the sense that you have the second reason to protect and be strong. Because if it were any other form of entity, then it wouldn't bring out this feeling in you to protect it. Maximize feminine qualities through the imaginary. That would be nurturing qualities, forgiveness and mercy, and empathy. It is honest, devoid of lies, deceit, and malicious intent. It would make you feel loved and accepted, and it has infinite variations of eye, hair, and skin color. And this slide is an example of how I imagine the future would be, with a image of a hologram projected on the outer part of our galaxy, which would be presented in front of people that believe in an imaginary based religion. So here there's three holograms, three projected images in one corner that would move around and change features, hair color, eye color, and skin color to present an imaginary thing, to present a thing that's not real. And what do imaginary religions believe about death and life after? So the soul definitely exists, and what it essentially is memories that others have of you. It is your goal, your purpose in life, and the past that shaped who you are as you lived. Death is not a physical thing, but dying means to have no one to think of you. For example, visiting a grave or an online webpage of a dead person, that would still mean that someone's alive. And true death means to be totally forgotten. Life goes on after death through your story and the change you made in the world. And your legacy is through your thoughts and your ideas and not through genetics. Every human, regardless of who you are, had an impact of the world. It just hasn't been documented, or it makes some indirect influence on something. So who are the main supporters of the imaginary? It would be people that are unaccepted, untalented people, and also having low IQs, unloved, and lacking in physical appearance. So as a result, they usually are loveless and touchless. They live reclusive and on the outskirts of society. People that feel that others will never like or desire them to pass their genes. People that struggle to make it along the elite or average due to appearance and social upbringings. And what's the way of life? One is lifelong learning. So believers of an imaginary based religion believe in reincarnation before physical death. And what this means is a change of identity continuously over life. And the process is ongoing of continually making mistakes and learning. And this requires you to let go of the past hour, day, week, or month in order to learn. It's a constant state of resetting and programming. And a good example would be a feeder, while also a student of life. So a feeder is someone who changes jobs left and right. It has no stability when it comes towards work. Someone who is constantly learning new things, different roles, and also jotting down notes on what they learn. On the right here is the hero's journey, which is taken straight from Wikipedia, that describes this cycle fairly well. On the top right, you have the adventure, then going towards the right bottom, clockwise, you have the event that was challenging, and this caused a transformation which eventually leads to something gained, and then the cycle repeats itself again. The second way of life is understanding the right extent. Getting food, water, and shelter is a game where there are losers and winners. So lying, cheating, deceiving when these needs are met is seen as stealing from honest people. To summarize, what the right extent is seeking to minimize zero-sum games and maximizing things like cooperation, teamwork, and helping others. And lastly, preference of longevity over the short term. Which basically means prefer maximizing emotional experiences than physical ones, because physical experiences last seconds, minutes, hours, or days, while emotional experiences span over years, decades, or a lifetime. Feelings take long to develop, but worth the investment because of the joy and happiness returned over time. So two key definitions of an imaginary based religion is soul and death. What is a soul? So soul is variances in temperature, feelings, color. It's made with passion and expression, not profit, value that is understood by everyone regardless of net worth. It's art. It triggers feelings of affection experienced by sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch. And what is death? Death is, of course, deep, not shallow. Shallow things have many mixes of several different things. So it's pure, or a specialization. And this is a diagram of soul and death intersecting. On the right side, death. So below those words, you see like the iceberg, which is different tiers. The bottom one being what I see is far deep, specialized. When you explore at the top, going to the bottom, you start narrowing down. And on the surface, land. On the right side of death is fractals. So the opposite of land, which is something very far, is space. And then you see it go higher. It also represents like specializations, like your level of proficiency. So on highest tier, you get like an expert of something. For example, you take an introduction course, that would be on the shallow end. But then you start studying more and more, you get deeper into the topics and ideas, and you start finding yourself become more specialized in an area that is also depth. And on top of that image, expert, and to the left of space, you see an image of a fractal. And this is actually what happens when you zoom in deep into the fractal on the right. You go deep into the image, and it produces this endless loop. It goes on for infinity. So that's death on that side. Next, soul. Definition is colors, so temperature. So things like a rainbow that has soul, the smell of a flower has soul, the taste of cotton candy that has soul, and the sound of music that also has soul. And when you merge soul and death together to a heightened degree, then you get the imaginary. Final thoughts, summarization, putting it all together. Life's purpose is to find soulful things and explore ideas until the feelings of affection and understandings are maximized. Abandon the need to be desired and validated by the conditional love and acceptance of people and society. Find affection in the imaginary to place affection outside of the imaginary world. Find mastery through the imaginary by intersecting soul and death. And as a result, a society that has this as a religion, the imaginary, will also will find the purpose to push past limits and reach far into ideas. Okay, that's everything.